Hi guys, welcome to another episode of YannaAsks. And for today, we'll be discussing sort of a serious and deep topic. So
Oh,
we're gonna
okay.
discuss how to find your purpose in life. So I guess this is very relatable and relevant, especially to people who are going through quarter life crisis, which I think I'm part of. So I'm very much excited to have this conversation. And so with us today, I've invited someone whom I think is, very successful in his chosen field of work. And I'm sure he'll be able to give us some insights on this matter. So, we've had Delamar Arias and Gino Killiamore guest in the show. So I told myself, kailangan natin to makumpleto. So I really asked Chico to guest on my show, and I'm very much privileged, to have him accommodate my invite. So this guy is one of the most famous DJs in the Philippine radio. So let's all welcome from RX 93.1 The Morning Rush, Chico Garcia.
Yay! Thank you,
Yes,
thank you. Thank you for having me. Yes, I hope I will be useful to your topic. Okay.
for
So I'm not
sure.
really, yeah. I mean, I'm not really sure if I found my purpose in life, but yeah, the search is definitely there.
Yeah. All
Okay,
right.
let's go for it.
Yeah. So Chico, maybe we can kick this off with you sharing a bit about yourself, like the condensed career journey. How did you start and how did you, reach where you are today?
Well, it's funny. You should word it earlier. You worded it earlier that you said in your chosen career.
Hmm.
I know a lot of people say this. It might sound like a very showbiz answer, pero for some people talaga, it's not you choosing your career,
Yeah.
but more like your career choosing you. Uh, I literally did not, never in my life imagine that I would be in the performing arts. I mean, people
Ah,
would say, but you took up, mass communication, you took up broadcasting. How could you not think that you would be in the performing arts somewhat? Okay, but my real passion is writing. I've always
ah.
considered myself a writer above anything else.
Mm-mm.
Most things, if you ask me if I'm good at it, I'll probably tell you, modesty aside, yeah, maybe I can.
Mm-mm.
But with writing, I'm not modest. I know I'm a good writer. So with everything else, I'm very unsure of. But when it comes to writing, I really think it's my greatest strength. So I went through life thinking that I will be a writer of some sort. Siyempre, initially, you're like, I want to be a novelist. I
Yeah.
want to be the next, a Michael Crichton, the next whatever. But of course, when I got to college, I did take up English, AP English.
Mm.
But towards the middle of it, I was taking up creative writing. I asked my advisor. I said, "Ma'am, tapatin mo ko. Like, what will I be when I graduate?" And then she goes, "Do you really want the truth?" I'm like, "Yeah, I want to know the truth. Will I become this rich multi-millionaire, paperback writer?" And then she goes, "You would probably teach. You'd be an English teacher." And no shade, I was like, "What happened to my multi-million dream?" And she goes, "If you're lucky, it'll happen. Go for it. But I'm just telling you, a good chunk of those, writer dreams ended up either, um, teaching English, or you could get into advertising. But AB English is not the way to do it. You would probably have to take up mass comm. So soul searching, I was like, okay, let's go to mass comm. That sounds good. I ended up in journalism. My journalism teacher said, "You're too creative. You probably shouldn't be in journalism. You make a lousy journalist because your reports are not very objective. They sound very emotional." Alam mo, I would report on, let's say, the jail, somebody who was in jail. Tapos I
Mm.
start off my article with, "The setting sun creeps into the dark and damp jail." Yung parang sabi niya, I feel like I'm, like reading a novel. I'm
Mm.
not reading a who, what, why, where, when, how,
Yeah.
which is what journalism is all about. So I transferred to broadcasting, thinking that it would be my um, my journey into advertising.
Mm.
But then, I meet friends, and one of my friends wanted to become a radio jock, an FM jock. So I said, okay, go. I can't wait. I want to listen to you on the radio. But then he goes, look, the reason I'm telling you is I don't want to go alone. So you go with me. You also audition with me. And I'm like, radio. I guess the main reason that I was telling you that it was very difficult is that I'm very shy. People who've known me since grade school, since high school, even college, will tell you I would never,
Really?
never survive on stage in front of a crowd or
Uh-huh.
whatever. So I was like, no way. I'm not going to speak in front of a microphone. Are you out of your mind? But long story short, that's how it started. I applied and I actually got in. They called me up and they said, are you interested? We're training. You do like 10 to 2, 10 in the evening to 2 in the morning. It was in a different station. It wasn't RX. It was a 99.5 RT. And after a year, I got a call from RX and said, would you like to do the mornings? As simple as that. And I was like, oh, okay. It's a little difficult going home at 2 a.m. So the idea of doing, at that time, it was 5 to 10, 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. in the morning.
Mm.
I mean, yeah, a.m. Okay. So,
Yeah.
syempre, in the morning. So, but ever since then, I've never stopped
Yeah.
doing mornings. There
Mm-mm.
was this one brief period where they tried to put me in the afternoon
Mm-mm.
and it didn't work. So maybe after, I don't know, a couple of months, they put me back in the morning. So
See.
yeah, that's the long and short of it.
Mm-mm.
Maybe it was really just because of my friends who I was hanging out with that got me into this thing. But on my own, if you ask the young Chico, I
Mm-mm.
would never in a million years would have told you that I would be on radio. I mean, this was 100%
Mm-mm.
an unchosen field. It's like the field
Yeah.
chose me. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. That's like an aha moment for all of us, especially, you mentioned that you're really shy when you were a student. Because
I know you don't
right?
believe it. I know it doesn't look it, but painfully shy, like pee in
Mm.
my pants kind of shy. I can't like stand in front of an audience. The first time that RX made me host for an event,
Mm.
it was it was a party. It was RX party. And they forced us to like literally force, because
Mm.
otherwise I would not have done it, not for anything. They literally forced me on stage to ad lib while the DJ was playing their tugs tugs music. And
Yeah.
I was, that kind of hosting. Yeah, how are you doing? I hated it. I hated it. It was so, not because I didn't like it, but because
Mm.
I had such debilitating, paralyzing stage fright, and it took a lot of. And it's so ironic that I would actually be an events host for a living, DJ and events host.
Yeah.
It's the two things that I was petrified of, and that's what I'm actually doing now, and that's how I earn my money. So it's weird how life pushes you
Yeah.
exactly where you don't want to be sometimes.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Life is full of surprises. No, parang there are turning points that you really don't expect, and then it will just head you towards the path na you didn't think you're gonna push through, right? So now,
exactly.
yeah, now that you mentioned, you've had this different dreams before of being a writer, ganyan, and you've transferred into parang different courses until you actually eventually got into radio and then hosting. So would you be able to say now that you're able to live your purpose? You've already found your purpose in hosting, or are there still times that there are, what ifs in your head?
Well, I think because radio and hosting and entertainment. I would like to say entertainment more
Mm-mm.
than radio
Yep.
because, of course, that's my medium. But the
Mm-mm.
greater purpose, more than
Yeah.
actually being radio, is making people laugh.
Yep.
I think, not to put a label to it, I think I just want to cast the net wider.
Mm-mm.
Um, my purpose is not necessarily just to be on radio or just to be on Instagram or just to be on
Mm-mm.
Twitter, but I think it's to be an entertainer.
Yeah.
Um, and since entertaining, I guess, has taken the majority of my existence so far, to a degree, yes. I think this is what at least for the majority of my life, I think this is what I was meant to do. Um, but I'm still open. You know how like I'm a dreamer. I don't like to put periods. I know
Yes.
this is a cliche, but I don't like to put periods where it's just a comma. It's supposed to be a
Mm-mm.
comma for
Mm-mm.
now. So, if something comes up later on, who knows? I've read stories, like for example, uh, like Morgan Freeman didn't have his first breakout role until he was 50.
Oh. Mm-mm.
So, you know what I mean? Like,
Mm-mm.
you would think maybe the 49-year-old Morgan Freeman would think, I probably wouldn't make it in Hollywood.
Yeah.
I'd probably be a
Mm-mm.
character actor for the rest of my life. But at 50, he got his first break and
Mm-mm.
became one of the biggest, stars
Mm-mm.
we have in Hollywood. Madonna started at 30.
Mm-mm.
These are relatively old
Yes.
compared to the Arianas and the Justin Biebers that,
Mm-mm.
start at like 14, 15, 16, right? So for me, for now, yes, I
Mm-mm.
think I have found what I'm supposed to do. But I wouldn't have gotten into this business if I wasn't open to the universe. If life was pushing me towards this direction, if I said, oh, radio, are you kidding me? I have stage
Mm-mm.
fright. Why would I do that? No. Then I would have stuck to my guns and I would probably be working in an ad agency, which is not a bad thing. But I'm just saying I won't be
Yeah.
here where
Yeah.
I am now. So with that said, I am still keeping that sort of window open
Mm-mm.
that if life opens up another door, if not, I'm fine.
Yeah.
But if it does, I am open to the idea that maybe there's another purpose for me for the next stage of my life. Who knows? Especially now with the
Mm-mm.
COVID crisis, it makes you feel a little existential. It makes
Yeah.
you ask certain
I
questions
so
about
agree.
life. Na
Mm-hmm.
parang, why are we here?
Yes.
Before it's like, what am I having for lunch?
Mm-mm.
When am I getting to buy my next gadget? But suddenly,
Yeah.
death staring at us in the
Mm-mm.
face and the uncertainty of, will I have food to eat
Yeah.
tomorrow?
Mm-mm.
Suddenly you're asking bigger questions. You're asking
Yes.
questions of, why am I here? Have I actually given my ambag to the world? Because
Mm-hmm.
now it's so big. Ano ba yung ambag mo? But we're not just
Mm-mm.
talking about society. We're talking about, I have been put on this earth for a
Yeah.
reason. Have I done it? So yeah, I actually ask those questions. And even
Mm-hmm.
until now, like I said, if my station in life is to make people laugh through the radio show, through my online um, platforms, uh, why not?
Mm-mm.
I'm pretty sure I don't make everyone laugh. I'm sure a lot of people find me annoying, but to those who I can, give a chuckle or two in the morning or in the afternoon or
Mm-mm.
in the evening with a tweet, with an Instagram post, if I
Mm-mm.
can put a smile on their face, why not?
Yeah.
Kahit ilan pa yan, kahit
Mm-mm.
handful lang yan, when people make me laugh, I am eternally grateful to them. And I'm like, thank you. That made me feel good on a
True.
very gloomy
Mm.
day. So if I can have that same effect on other people, then I would consider it a great thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I so agree. Actually, the trigger, for me coming up with a topic for this episode is, with what is happening right now, pandemic, and you don't even know until when you're gonna survive. Parang it makes you ask some questions, right? Like, my God, life is so short. Would I still be able to do the things that I want to do? Would I still have the chance to make an impact to the world? Parang ganon. So that's why I actually came up with this topic na how to find your purpose in life, connecting it to quarter life crisis, which is, I think, it's very common. People are going through that, especially those who are in their 20s to 30s. So, yep, that's actually a good segue to our last question, just to wrap this up. So, I mentioned quarter life crisis. So, some people, they feel stuck in a certain point in their lives, whether that's in a job or career or in a personal situation, na parang they just don't feel that it still ignites that fire in them anymore. But the thing is, they don't know what they want to do. They don't know what to do next. So I'm not sure, maybe at some point in your life, you've also gone through quarter life crisis or any kind of dilemma, be it in career or personal life. So do you have some tips on how to handle this matter? Like, how do you actually know what you want to do or what you're supposed to do in your life?
Actually, ano yan, kanya-kanyang, like everyone has their own
Mm-mm.
schedule. I really don't, sometimes one of the things that make me feel bad is when I read mga articles na at age 25, so
Yeah,
and so has made $300 million
pressure, you know.
because of just creating a video game or creating an app out of nowhere. And I feel like such a loser. Like, how old am I? And here's this 20-year-old kid earning millions off of an app. Maybe I was doing the wrong things. It can be a quarter life crisis. It can be a midlife
Yeah.
crisis. It can be, as my mom likes to put it, tawag nga niya, boarding gate crisis. Malapit ka na daw mag-board. Nasa boarding area ka na. So it doesn't matter what
Yeah.
age or stage in life you are. It does happen.
Yeah.
But with me, I realized that. I don't know if it's the same with other people. But I realized that the big things that happen in my life are all quite serendipitous. I mean, like, I didn't go out of my way specifically to look for it. Like, my experience, again, I'm not saying that, this is what you should do, but in
Yeah.
my experience, the stuff that I went for, parang it didn't happen. But then the things that organically happened, na I wasn't looking for it, it arrived. So whether it's meeting certain people who created an impact on my life, or I was just doing this hobby and then I meet this person which led me to that part of my life.
Yeah.
Like, it's always a very serendipitous thing. Like I said, radio. If I wasn't best friends with my org mate who wanted to be in radio, I wouldn't be here. So for me, if you're stuck in a rut and you want, parang, I don't know what to do, you can go out there, try different things, but don't force it. You know what I mean? It's like love. Di ba? Parang sa akin, okay, perfect analogy. Let's use love. Treat it the same way that, with dating. Parang ako, that's how I would do it. Even when it comes to, romance and relationships. That's what worked for me.
Yeah.
Like, sige, go out on dates. As much dates as you want. But don't force it. Hindi yung porke may nakita ka na parang, okay na to. O sige, game. O sige, tayo na. I'm a big believer in, sige, put the effort in. Go out on dates. But I do believe that when the right one comes along, there'll be a click, in your head. So it's the same thing with purpose. It's the same thing with people. It doesn't mean that just because you start dating 100 people, you will find that one. Pwedeng kung kailan nakaupo ka lang sa park, feeding the pigeons, mulling about how you will live the rest of your life alone, biglang tatabi sa'yo yung, the person who will be the love of your life for the rest of your life. So that's what I'm saying. Like, don't naman just sit there and, alam mo yung tamad na nakahiga siyang nakanganga under
you just wait.
really waiting for the guava to fall into your mouth. Hindi naman ganon. But what I am saying is, you put yourself out there, but you also open yourself up when life offers you that purpose. Because sometimes it might be there already and you just don't know it. Kasi minsan, we have plans.
Yeah.
And if we're too stubborn to let go of our plans, when your purpose comes along, you go, that's not my purpose. If I really wanted to be a novelist, if I was convinced na I'm going to be a best-selling novelist, then if radio came along, I would have said, I'm not going to be a DJ. Why would I be a DJ? I'm supposed to be a writer. Then I would have let this go. So it's okay. It's okay. Make your plans. Try new things. But you have to have that radar open to call it life, call it universe, call it God, whatever it is that you want to call it. But you have to have your radar open to identify when it comes along. Don't be afraid of life. Let it happen. So if life opens up this road, take it. Sometimes it'll lead to a dead end and you go, crap. Sige na nga, U-turn. Take another road. But don't be afraid to take roads, and at the end of the day, as long as you feel like, alam mo, I did naman everything that I could. So if it didn't happen, if success didn't come your way, you can go, well, I tried. Ano may gawin natin?
Wala eh.
Diba? Wala eh, di ba? So at least you don't feel like you didn't give it a try.
Mm-hmm.
So give it a try, have your radar open. If success or your purpose happens,
Mm-hmm.
congratulations. If it doesn't, keep looking.
Yeah.
And remember, success is not always, sorry, your purpose doesn't always mean success.
Mm-mm.
Some people are successful in a way that they become artistas, some people become senators and presidents and congressmen. Some people's measure of success is financial. They earn millions and billions of dollars. But what if your purpose is to be open up a small restaurant, to be a security guard, to
Mm-mm.
be a gardener, to be a kasambahay? That is a purpose too.
Yeah.
We all have different purposes, some bigger, some smaller. Will I say that my purpose is better than somebody who's working as a bagger in a supermarket? Because if I were to believe that, then I should also believe that I'm smaller than the celebrities
Mm-mm.
because they're more popular than I am.
Mm-mm.
They have bigger jobs than I do. More people love them than they love me. So does that mean I'm inferior? I don't believe that. So I
Mm-mm.
also shouldn't believe that I'm superior to people who are quote unquote
Exactly.
lower than me. So there's no lower, there's no higher.
Yeah.
So sometimes you're looking for your purpose, but then when you see it, you're like, ito na yung purpose ko, ba't ang
Mm-mm.
liit? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you ask that question, what is my purpose? You have to be ready for the answer. Because what if the answer is, this is your purpose? And if it's a humble purpose, that doesn't mean it's any less great. So, you have to be, when you ask the question, you have to be ready for the answer.
Yeah. I so agree with all your points. Hindi ko sila maisa-isa, but yeah, I really, really agree. Especially, and I think yung main key takeaway ko is, if you want something, put in the right effort, but always be, open to opportunities. Because life is full of surprises. Eh. You'll never
It
know.
is.
You'll never know that something will work unless you actually try, right? And then we
Mm-hmm.
we all don't have that fixed schedule in our lives, so just always be open. If it works, then yeah, just like what you said, congrats to you. But if it doesn't, just keep on looking. Yun nga, wala naman tayong hinahabol lahat na schedule. So, no need to be pressured, right?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's not really a beginning,
Mm-mm.
journey, end.
Yeah.
It's never a book end. Like finding your purpose could be like, you know, it's not like the pot of gold at the end of a rainbow. For all you know, it's like when you're young, this is your purpose. When
Mm-mm.
you're middle aged, this is your purpose. Even in death, this is your purpose. Sometimes, the heroic stories, their purpose in death is to save somebody else's life. So tuloy-tuloy yan eh. It can be an
Yes.
evolving thing. And
Mm-mm.
what your purpose at one part of your life may not be the same as your purpose in
Mm-mm.
another part of your life. So
Yeah.
uh, the point is you just have to be mindful. You have to be aware that, oh, maybe this is what I'm supposed to be doing at this point
Mm-mm.
of my life. Sometimes don't worry too much about what's ahead. Focus on what's here. And sometimes just doing well at what you do here is the best thing that you can do. It means at least your purpose for today, you're doing your job for that
Yeah.
purpose. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, all right. Thank you so much,
Thank
Chico.
you.
Yeah,
Thank
really,
you.
really insightful. I'm sure the viewers who are watching this right now, they really got help in terms of all these questions that they have in their head as much as it helped me, listening to you. So thank you so much for
Thank
sharing all
you.
these tips, yeah, insights. And guys, if you have comments, suggestions, questions about this episode, just feel free to comment down below. And yeah, hope to see you in the next episode of Yana Asks. Again, thank you so much, Chico,
Thank
and keep
you.
safe. More power to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.